Yeah, I think that my relationship with imposter syndrome is changing and will continue to change as I grow. You know, as I have matured professionally, I realize that imposter syndrome isn't necessarily about my ability. It's more so about insecurity and about sticking up for yourself, or having that faith and having sort of stock in your ability and perspective about what you can do as a means to sort of overcome imposter syndrome. And that imposter syndrome really isn't about whether or not you're capable. It's about learning to assess, evaluate, and invest in yourself. I feel like the true test isn't necessarily whether or not you're good at something, it's that you're still doing it. Doing something creative means you'll always have self-doubt. You'll always be doing something new. And there's something inherent about anything new that is truly foreign, right? Like you've never done it before. When you first learn anything, or there's something about when you leave school and there's no controlled environment where you can fail safely, it's scary. And that's what imposter syndrome, I think, stems from. And I think particularly for people of color, especially in places and spaces where you might be the only person on your team that looks like you, it's easy to feel like there's no map, there's no key for you to figure it out. And I think for me, the way I work through that is constantly and consistently checking myself for me and not letting anyone else's perspective inform my perspective. And I think learning to have a broader set of resources so that I can assess myself healthily. And I think imposter syndrome is more so about learning to speak up for yourself and being, sort of just sturdy and headstrong about what you can do and what you want to do, because living in that passion, like growing in that creative space of being sort of unbound with that passion, is what will help you grow and will help you ascend, help you, make the most out of this opportunity and open the door to the next one. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned so far, is really pushing myself to find my own voice and being more and more unapologetic about it. I think something my mom always tells me that I'm constantly reminding myself or trying to figure out how to position myself to be okay with is like, the worst anyone can say is no. And that's not the end of the world, right? That kind of just gives you an answer. And so I think the scariest thing with imposter syndrome is constantly feeling like you're towing a line, but it's actually okay to cross a line because then you have an answer.